Hello YouTube, Sammy Technoid here, and today we are out in the living room where I do most of my maintenance work on my equipment here out on this table. And today we are going to attack the CD-491 and remove the old belt and put in a new belt for the dual capstan drive. Okay, so right now this is before I have done anything to it. And as I go along, I'm going to take video footage of the progress, and you will see the events as they happen somewhat. So anyway, let me get started on this thing, and I will keep you posted throughout the video. Now, as you can see, I removed the knobs, the front knobs, and that's required so that the faceplate can be taken off. And I've also removed the cabinet, and we can get a closer look at what's going on inside here. And here is the back of the transport. This guy right here, that's the tape transport, and I need to get that guy removed. And to remove him, this board here, they call this the PCB, it's the power supply, or PSB or whatever, and that needs to be moved and lifted up so the tape transport can be removed and I can gain access to the back to replace the belt. And if you see, there's little these little things here have to be snipped, and there's a lot of contacts that need to be removed, but it doesn't look too terrible. It doesn't look too terrible. I'm just taking pictures here to keep you posted, and with the next step I will show you more. Here you can see the front panel has been removed, and this is going to allow access to further things that I need to get into while removing the transport. But yeah, it's starting to look bare naked. Ooh, bare naked electronics. We got a little Harman Kardon pornography going on here. Oops. As you can see, I've progressed a little farther in the disassembly, and here is the power supply board. I've got it lying up on its side, and in one of the instructions it says that you need to desolder these yellow and black wires. You do not need to do that if you do it right. What I've done is I've just flipped it over, and the yellow and black wires are still intact. They're not getting desoldered, and there's plenty of room, as you can see, to remove the transport. You just have to disconnect those ribbon cables, and you've got to be very careful about those because they're just pins. Some of them are just pins, the wires extended out, so make sure you don't bend them too hard or break them or so forth. At this stage, the next step is to remove the transport. Well, as you can see, I've made quite a bit of progress. The transport is now removed and laying up on its side. All the cables are still connected. The PC board, the power supply board, is off to the side, and it gives me a lot of room to work. And now, to gain access to the belt, I've got to remove this board here. That's the next step. Okay, so onward and upward. Here we are looking at the back of the motor. This is the motor board that has the coils that control the direct drive motor. And from the instructions that I saw online, it looked like it was just a straightforward thing. You remove the screws, and there were 4 of them, and then it would just lift up and you'd, replace the belt. But there is a snag. And now that I went back and looked at the instructional video, this little guy here, this FG, which is upside down, those need to be desoldered, okay? Those need to be desoldered before this board here can be lifted up. And you see it can be moved slightly, but it cannot be lifted up because those 2 wires are holding it on. So I've got to do that. And then once I've done that, I will get back and we'll see what's going on. What you're looking at now is the underside of the direct drive motor, and underneath in there is the drive capstan, and somewhere in there is the belt that I will be removing. And those 2 little wires poking out there, the red and the white one, those are the ones that needed to be desoldered. So onward and upward again to the repair of my cassette deck. Well, here we are. We've got the old belt, which is this one. removed, and the new belt, which is this one, and it looks like the old belt has been stretched out. It definitely looks larger diameter than the new belt. So yeah, I'm really I'm really confident that this is going to solve the problem of it wanting to pinch up and crinkle tapes because of the dual capstan. So yeah, I'm going to put on the new belt now, right over to this guy, get that all situated, and then we're back into reassembling. Okay, there's the belt. Now that I've replaced the main belt, the capstan belt, I'm going to replace one other belt, and that's the one that's going on the rewind spooler there, and it goes on that little spindle. And I'm just going to get my spring hook, and pull it off and put on the new one. And to gain access to this little area here, let me shine my light in there, this little area here, you've got to remove this little guy here, which is this cover. Yeah, this is a cover. But yeah, you remove that, and then you can gain access to all that good stuff inside there. So I'm going to replace that belt and then start putting everything back together. It's time to get this baby back up and running. Well, as it stands, I've got the transport back in place, and you know, it still needs to be much more assembly going on because that board there needs to be put, but the hardest part is done. I will have to concur, and I have read that this is one of the machines that has the hardest time replacing a belt, and I concur. This was one pain in the rear. Oh my gosh. But now I'm going to sing the Hallelujah chorus because I know this is going to be a good job well done. Hallelujah. 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 Okay. So I must continue on until the job is done. Well, here it is in its final stages of reassembly. The power supply board has been completely repositioned and all the cables reconnected. So this is a done deal pretty much right now. If I was to turn it on with power, it should come on. And I think that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to turn it on and just see how well it operates before I put the cabinet and all the other things back on. Here it is. It is the finished product. I've got all the knobs, the faceplate, and all that put back on right now, except for the cabinet, which I'm holding off till last. But before I do that, there's going to be an operational test. So let's see how she goes. Let's see. I got a tape in there. Put a tape in it. Okay. Old tape. Probably over 30 years old, maybe. At least 20 years old, I'm sure. Okay. Now, with the Harman Kardon CD-491, there's a time lag between when you turn it on and everything becomes functional. And there's a little light that says wait. What it's doing, it's running through some diagnostics to make sure everything is working right before anything turns on. So as I turn it on, you're going to see that little wait light, and then it's going to come on. And there it is. And all the lights come on, and the counter starts, and I'm going to hit pause, and then pause again, and it's running. The counter is running. You can see that there's some activity on the meter because there's something on this tape. And if I was to put it into pause, hit pause record, it would go into record mode. And now I can hit pause again. Now it's recording. And if I wanted to calibrate, I would hit tone and see it's got the tone calibrated. Perfect. So yeah, it's up and running, baby. It's up and running. And I'm going to do some test recordings here next video with DBX. So for now, this thing is good. I'm going to put the cabinet on. You'll see it next time with the cabinet on. But for now, this video is finished and over. And thank you for being patient. Until next time, see you later.